So, I'm living the dream, one nightmare at a time. Is that kind of how you feel sometimes? Yes?
There are those days.
Yes, yes. So we have that choice. We can either live in the nightmare or we can live in the dream. It's always up to us. But what if we paid attention to the dreams that we were having when we were sleeping? What if there's messages in those dreams? Suggestions for you? What if you were paying attention to them? Do you believe that God speaks to us, universe, source, whatever, speaks to us through our dreams? Most people, no way would they think a dream would give them answers to their lives. Would actually be the universe guiding you and helping you through a dream. As simple as a dream. So we're going to kind of look at that today. In the last days, God says, I will pour out my spirit on all people. Your sons and daughters will prophesy. Your young men will see visions. Your old men will dream dreams. All throughout the Bible, we hear of visions and dreams of God talking through people, prophesizing. But it got to the place where it was only thought of in those enlightened ones, in the people that supposedly were mystics, that were not connected, that were connected to God. But what if everyone knew that they had that same ability? The Old Testament was so stern in saying that it had to come from somebody that was looked at as greater than thee, when we are that greatness of thee, simply put. So, if we want to go to the Bible with this to see if that was something that is of God, it's all through the Bible. So, inner vision. I always do my talks, before I do my talks, I always ask Spirit what I'm to talk about. And I usually don't get that till the end of the week. I already had something else in my mind I wanted to talk about, but I surrendered and I got out of the way, and I always go to Truth Unity to get a lot of my material. So it kept coming to me, dreams. Dreams, what do you mean? I'm not going to talk about dreams. And so I went into Truth Unity and I Googled dreams. I had no idea that Charles Fillmore was so into dreams. And all this material came up around dreams. He was a psychologist in the late 1800s. And Charles Fillmore is the founder of Unity teaching. So, for those that don't know that. And so, we went into the I'm just have a little discomfort right now. We went into the early 1900s, and Charles wrote a 60-page booklet about dreams. And he called it Inner Vision. And then he got so much response from this. People wanting to know their dreams. How can we interpret our dreams? So he actually created a department that interpreted dreams. I mean, I had no idea. And most of the people of Unity do not know that he was such a big foundation for dream work in this world. And one thing that was said was that Spirit would always return back to this work when the people were ready. So he laid this foundation. And he even went so far as to teach the people that were in silent unity, who we send all of our prayers to interpret dreams. So they would call in, and they had the wisdom of how the brain worked and how God delivers messages through visions and dreams. So they would call in. And then he even created a space where people could mail in their dreams. And he said, we'll just pay a love offering and we'll interpret your dreams. Well, people were sending in like 6 dreams at a time. So he had to kind of say, now one dream at a time, you know. They were actually being overworked at the Unity Village because so many dreams were coming in for interpretation. So I was amazed at what I had learned as I read through this stuff. And then, of course, society didn't care for it, and Charles retired in 1933, and so along with that went the dream work. And then the book itself, the booklet, the 60-page booklet, actually came off the shelves in 1945. So still to this day, they do not do interpretations at Unity Village. But it was also said that we are in hopes that the ministers at the Unity churches will still incorporate dream work into their teachings. So that's what I'm doing today, by Spirit's instruction. So who was another person into dream work? Carl Jung. Until we make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate. So they believe that until we find a balance from the subconscious mind, which Charles called the personal consciousness, but the subconscious mind, until we are able to open and bridge the gap from the subconscious into the conscious mind, we are losing half of our messages. We are not getting the full picture. Sometimes when you are consciously thinking of something, do you ever wonder why something's coming in? And you're like, where's that? What is that? Where's that come from? That's not part of my thinking. Because it is in you. It is part of your subconscious mind, your personal self, your ego self that has been developed through your whole lifetime. So how do we bridge that gap? I can't tell you how many people have come to me and said, well, Lisa, how do we know what's in the subconscious mind? Now I have an answer. Dream a little dream by paying attention to your dreams. And the way, I do not remember my dreams, but we all dream. When we get into that alpha state, we are all dreaming. I don't know if I'm not getting there or what, but before I'm going to bed the last couple nights since I read this material, I'm actually asking that I can recall my dreams. But I haven't yet, so I'm not sure. I will continue to do that though. And the other thing is, we have so many ways to practice lucid dreaming. YouTube is filled with it. Meditations. You can turn on a computer all night long, and for 8 hours I found all this stuff to help you with your dreams. And just like anything else, it is a spiritual practice. Practice. We have lived with our consciousness being in a certain space for years. How we think we're just going to just turn around and walk away from it, no. We have to practice a new tool that we get. And they suggest like putting a pad of paper next to the bed, and anything you think of when you wake up, write it down. Charles also instructed people that when you wake up, don't get right up. Lay still. Before you engage the conscious mind, relax into that presence that you just left. Just be there, relax, and just ask. Remember, the universe wants to say yes to all of us when we ask. And that's what we have to do to receive messages. Because of free will, we're not going to get it until we desire it. We ask for it. So lay still. And even a fragment of something that you might think is not important may be very important. Write it down. See what comes up for you throughout your day. You might start connecting some pieces to just a small thing. They also believed in symbols. For us, we have all kinds of symbols to interpret the Bible. because we are metaphysical students, right? So when we read the Bible, we use it for historical reasons, and we also use it metaphysically. So, excuse me. I'm going to make it through it. So some of the symbols are like an ox means strength, a horse means vigor, land means stability, and water means flexibility. Now, if you have a symbol and you're trying to interpret a dream, should you stick to just this symbol? What if that symbol doesn't feel right for your dream? It's not kind of going along with what you think that you might be receiving. You always listen to what you're intuitively being told about something. A symbol is not fixed. One thing we have lost sight of is connecting to how we feel about something. You are guided through your feelings. It's an energy. It's an emotion that's in movement. Pay attention to that because you will get so many answers from that. And that is God. That is God. So for each of us, and Carl and Charles both talked about this, that they did not want to interpret somebody's dreams without knowing a little bit about the characteristics of that person, their personality, their life, what's showing up for them. So it's like we need to get to a place where we trust our own inner voice. Our own inner voice. The stillness of silence, calling in the answers through meditation. And this is where, we also bridge that gap. If you're not sure of what's trying to come to you, what instruction Spirit is trying to say to you, to relay to you, it's in the stillness that we find that. If you're having dreams and you still don't understand them, and you can't bridge that gap from your subconscious to your conscious, get still and ask. Get still and ask. And I'm going to read something from Charles Fillmore on April 21st, 1915. This was out of the Weekly Unity, published a lecture that he entitled Guiding Visions, in which he elaborated on this idea. He said, those visions and those things that you have seen are from the Lord. And if you would acknowledge those hidden things as being real, and in the silent recesses of your soul, be obedient, you would get something more than definite, and this would lead to further revelation. And soon you would have the door open between you and your higher self. This is just another way for us to connect to our higher self. Another tool to put in our toolbox. And so many times I forget about these things that society has said, don't pay attention to this. This is silliness. This doesn't matter. You're just dreaming. They're not real. But in every dream, each thing, each person that you confront within the dream, each situation that you go through in the dream is you. If I'm having a dream and there's other characters in my dream, every one of those characters are me trying to tell me something. You're not dreaming about that person. That is a part of you that needs to be seen. Maybe that person, there's a lesson there. Maybe whatever you're going through in real life with that person, maybe what's something within you that you need to look at so that person is present in your dream. One of the stories, Charles was asking one of the reverends that was interpreting the dreams, and he said she came to him with a dream, and it was about one of her co-workers. And she said, well, what's she doing in my dream? I couldn't figure out, I don't know what the connection is. And he said, well, do you know anything about her? And she said, well, she's ill right now. And he said, well, did you pray for her? And she said, no. And he said, well, that's probably why you had that dream, because maybe you were the only one that was there to pray for her. So our dreams are trying to get our attention. Universe is saying, pay attention. I'm here to deliver you a message, a vision of God, of your higher self, to help guide you through life, to help manifest whatever you're not seeing and paying attention to outside here. Go within, and there it'll be. And it takes practice. And I'm going to practice it. And any of those that would like to jump on that bandwagon and do the same, I'd love to hear any stories you have later that we can share if you're starting to develop some connection to your dreams, where you're putting that bridge in your life. Another bridge, another connection. How beautiful that is. So what we're going to do now is I've got a little short, it's not really so much a meditation. It's got beautiful heart music in it, but she kind of walks you through a process with what to use as your dreams. And she's asking you to lay down and, as if you're going to bed, but you're not. So just stay in your seats. Let's just kind of all get kind of relaxed right now. Let's get relaxed and let's plant our feet into Mother Earth. Do whatever imagery you want to use. Envision the roots from your feet. And don't forget your tailbone, guys. Make sure you see the root coming from the bottom of your tailbone, connecting that spinal flow of energy. And we just see it reaching around Mother Earth and hugging her all the way to her core. Jean likes to use a crystal in the middle of the core of Mother Earth. But this is your vision, so you use whatever feels empowering for you and just connect to Mother Earth. Now that we're grounded, we're going to listen to this recording.
Before you slip under the covers, make sure you have your dream journal or paper and pen or pencil or a tape recorder within easy reach. Dreaming is like opening the door to the locked part of your mind. All your accumulated wisdom and insight is stored there for your exploration. Dream recall is like a mental muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it becomes. Without exercise, it may shrink, but it is there if you decide to work it out again. So if your recall is poor, trust that it will come in time, and the trust alone will help. Lie in a comfortable position. Close your eyes. Take several deep breaths. As you exhale, imagine any stress you've encountered during the day being released with each exhale of breath. Gently stretch your arms and legs. Point your toes and stretch your legs toward the bottom of your bed. Stretch and reach your arms down towards your toes. And now relax your arms and legs, feeling the tension evaporate as you let go. As you stay comfortable and relaxed, recall a dream you've had in the past. It doesn't matter how long ago it was or what it was. Take a few moments to reflect on this dream. will allow your body to stay relaxed and let your mind drift closer to your dream or dream fragment. You will write down or record whatever you recall, no matter how trivial or insignificant it may seem. Every dream should be valued as a potential source of insight and change. Even the tiniest, confusing, mundane dream fragment can have profound meaning. If you don't recall the dream right away, relax and let your mind wander. If any image comes to mind, allow the image to lead you to other images and follow the train of images. Often this will remind you of the dream that you left behind. And now tell yourself, I will remember my dreams. Repeat this as you drift into a peaceful and restful sleep.
Let's just sit in this stillness for a few minutes.